TRILUX Group had the honour to host a roundtable for executive leaders, with like-minded firms and institutions mutually inspiring each other on the topic, circularity in the building industry. This unique event has attracted over more than 150 people, all connected live from LATAM, Europe, Middle East, and all the way from countries in Asia and Pacific. And the lineup at the table was promising, with Honeywell on BMS, Jones Lang La Salle, JLL on real estate services, Dubai government, represented by DAFZA on sustainability, LULU about retail hypermarkets and malls, and TRILUX Group as leading global lighting solution provider. The entire discussion has been moderated by Olivier Picolin. Let's have a look at different perspectives on circular thinking throughout the value chain. As circularity is a broad, almost holistic theme, the topic circular building has been crisped, making sure everybody started on the same page.
Circularity means that you create something that can have a second life on a different location. Basically, it shifts the focus from a take, waste, and waste of production, basically to a minimize, reuse, and recycle mentality.
The biggest thing we need to do is to get our head around what does a circular economy mean in terms of product design, in terms of value chain, in terms of other business models, in terms of markets and customer expectations. What about cooperation within the market, between the companies for design, for standardization and compatibility?
With so many questions, a bit of structure will help. First, which are the driving forces in circular thinking? Followed by, what concrete benefits could circularity bring? And finally, how to reach there, keeping also potential roadblocks in mind. Before going into driving forces from a linear to circular economy, we should know where we stand today. LULU Group expressed this with appealing macroeconomic facts.
74% of the end wastage of any product is an opportunity lost. Yeah. Now put that into numbers. These are numbers which are greater than GDPs of countries. At an economic perspective, at a very macro level, the import ratio is much higher than the export of a country because it does not have a circular economy to run down the products that are at the end of the cycle of production.
Listening to these numbers, it should not be a surprise that governmental regulations need to come into play. At the same time, another strong driving force appears to be the strategic sustainability agenda of global corporates.
Sustainability is one of the main driving force which has to be taken as a most priority for any organization. And as Honeywell, this is one of the biggest priority for us as a corporate responsibility.
One of the things that we see, though, is that a number of global corporates are setting standards for themselves and setting extremely significant and very high standards, and they want to set them globally.
The interesting part is that circularity, as part of the sustainability agenda, will have a positive impact on the company image, but at the same time, also help recruit and retain employees in the war for talent.
And I think that a lot of them are looking for something new, something that is going to make the workplace a better place for them, but also more importantly for their employees. So if they can deliver something that is sustainable, that is a project that delivers value, both short-term and long-term, plus makes for a good environment for their workers, then I think it's positives on all sides. And I think that's something that is really important these days, because prior to the situation that we're in, it's tough to find good staff, and so people are wanting to keep them and look after them. So anything that they can do in the environment of the building that helps them is definitely a positive.
In summary, we might say, circularity can even enhance your employee value proposition. At the end of the day, it all starts by putting customers first in all we do. For TRILUX Group, the most vital accelerator remains the needs of customers.
For us as a lighting solution provider also is, and that makes it really interesting and really exciting for us as a partner, is to increase also the speed of innovation. If you have a building set up which is already circular, been designed, it'll be easier for us to update, to upgrade, and to reduce components. That means based on a modular principle. Why not upgrading the latest functionality in 3 months after the building has been put in place? Because what you take out is no waste. It can be reused or upcycled with another reason. So the breaking point no longer is operation itself. So it's broken, so let's fix it. Now with circular, we turn to give it to a second to a third life, reuse it, maintain the value.
This actually means circularity truly drives the opportunity for increased customer loyalty. But which other benefits could circularity bring? Retailer LULU Group kicked off this part of the discussion with a vital remark. Irrespective what the circular business model is, the key rule of the game is that any concept has higher chances to be successful if every stakeholder in the chain feels concrete benefits. Next to obvious cost savings, circularity has the potential to be the door opener for agility, flexibility, first-hand collection of user insights, and in well-designed models, it will bring more value per square meter.
The reason why companies want to outsource their activities is because of 2 main reasons. One is they feel it's non-core, they want experts to look after it. And the second thing is that they want cost savings. And I think this, with the circularity of the building, that's going to be one of the driving factors. You know, Vikash at the beginning mentioned, you know, a lighting system that you could have in the building that you do not pay upfront for. You know, that significant capital expenditure is removed. So being able to operate your building on a system where you're paying sort of a usage fee is going to reduce potentially the setup costs for new buildings, but also allows you to upgrade and change your product as the needs of your business change.
The benefit really is to have a much higher quality and his individual lighting solutions at much lower cost. So that actually is one of the key benefits to the customer, because at the end, circular is in the strong position to make the cost for the installation for the whole building installations even cheaper. So it's more agile because the value can be maintained. So if the use of the room of the building may be adapted, adjusted, changed in the next 2-3 years, circular is able to recover the value, to maintain the value. We also have another benefit for us as suppliers, and not just lighting, also other functionality suppliers, is, as I already said, being closer to the customer, really putting customer in the center. And the second thing is, if we return products and components, for us as suppliers, it's important to have our lessons learned, to see, understand, to have the diagnose, to see how is customer really using our product in a daily work. So returning these information and putting this into innovation circle is also kind of our living lab, and saying, yes, we understand how customers use it, how we can improve and increase that cycle very much.
But how do we reach there? Which are enablers or roadblocks for circularity? Lighting solutions provider TRILUX outlined that history has demonstrated that, despite obvious benefits of LED above conventional, regulations will remain an important enabler to adopt LED. The same will apply to speed up the adoption of circularity in the lighting industry.
The first enabler is basically the digital technology. Okay, because see, going beyond improving energy efficiency and enhancing the productivity overall, that is what is required for any building to look into. Second thing is basically the finance will be one of the biggest enabler for such kind of maintaining those kind of scenarios, especially pay as we use model. Okay, as rightly mentioned by Michael and Jaeger also. Okay, so that is one thing which everybody should look into.
Definitely being able to get involved with the people at the design stage early on is the most important factor, because as we've seen time and time again, the people that hold the budget for CapEx and OpEx are two completely different people, and very often, even in the same firm, are not connected, and in fact don't see any need to connect. So getting that in early, I think, is a huge priority.
Number 3, we would like to shift the mindset towards a greener economy. And number 4, to shift also the culture in order to understand the value of the circular economy or the green economy, so that the people will understand how important this one for generation to come and to have more sustainable business. So these 4 points in terms of the enablers.
In summary, next to governmental regulations and digital technology as enablers, we all need to educate and clearly explain to all stakeholders the short and long-term benefits. All leaders at this roundtable felt that coming together as an industry will accelerate the process towards circular buildings. The dialogue will continue and cooperation has already started. Are you ready to join us on the journey towards a more sustainable future? Let's talk!